They say somebody decides within 5 seconds if they're going to continue to watch a video. And if that's you, what an absolute imbecile you are. I honestly would keep watching just knowing that that stat exists, just to screw the stat. And if you do end up watching for a little while longer today, maybe if you even get to the end of the video, you're going to be gifted some free money. Yeah, that's right. Kringle is handing out gifts once again. But until then, we're going to talk a little I Hate Baseball. I guess what should be the final episode of I Hate Baseball, which we're going to deem, I would say, I don't know how we want to define success, but definitely a success. Alex, I gave the picture of where we're currently at after last night, which we ended up plus money. Why? Just like a movie where you need to remember something good at the end. A movie with a good ending is all of a sudden a memorable one. The donkey plays are undefeated this week. It gave us, or at least it gave me, a plus money Tuesday. And the reason I'm happy about it is because A, we have more donkey picks for you today, but B, all this money is going on the line. As soon as those bets are done today, it's going on the line. And that's going to take us to some of what I'm going to do for you guys later. I teased it yesterday. I said I needed to sit on a little bit. I'm going to give out some of the mountain of gold, but we're going to need a lot of money for that. We're already approaching $2,000, and let's see what we can add on to that. Josh, what's going on? How you doing? Hey, we're always here for you to clean up a couple tough nights. That's what the donkeys are for. When you're doing well, the donkeys are mailing it in. If you need that donkey to pick you up, it's not a full stallion, it's not a full horse, but it can get you from point A to point B.
Good to be here, but last day of I Hate Baseball, kind of sad. It's been a great run. You know how much I enjoy doing content with you. Weird question, and I know things go sideways on here quite often, so it's the place to do it. Haircut yesterday. Woman goes, "Do you need me to do the eyebrows?" I'm like, the risk is high, but I felt guilty of being like, what? Do you call her no, you don't know what you're doing. No, I'm good. And then you have that awkwardness between no. She's like, no, I can do it. Got it done.
It was a female?
It absolutely terrifies me. Yeah, terrifies me.
Okay, so females obviously are meticulous with eyebrows, and they're not stupid. They know what they're doing on that front. That's not one thing that I would have worried about so much. I would have said no problem. All they're going to do is just, assuming sometimes I had a barber who would take the straight edge and he just picked the corners to make it clean. But, I lived and grew up in a highly manicured area, as Alex can probably tell you. This tri-state metro area, the further you get into Long Island, the more you see those growing up gaudy, perfectly trimmed eyebrows. But I don't think that's as much of a concern as you might imagine. Those girls know what they're doing when it comes to the eyebrows. I can assure you, you're not leaving there with a naked eyebrow or looking like, Nelly had a Band-Aid on. But I think you would have been just fine. I'm way more concerned that somebody's gonna cut it too short. Did I ever tell you my haircut too short scam that they pull? I think I did once. Right?
I know you're very worried about your haircut going into it. You don't want to look like a haircut.
Exactly. And my theory is that, I think I may have mentioned this once. I can't remember if it was my other podcast or what. But the barber wants to cut your hair really short.
Oh, yeah.
Because, that way somebody asks, oh, yeah, you got your hair cut. Where'd you get it cut? Cutting your hair too short is free advertising for barbershops. I almost borderline go in there and say, let me get a cleanup. I'm happy with a cleanup is like a regular haircut. That's like when my Italian grandma would say, do you want something to eat? Saying I want nothing means I just want a regular amount of food. If you say you want a normal amount of food, you're getting everything under the sun. So it's just that tiered system. It's a weighted graph. But I wouldn't worry about that next time. And by the way, who are you going to look bad for? Me? You're already married. Nope. Here's what your eyebrows look like. Anyway, where are we going to start today on this Wednesday? Something tells me you're going to end up, if you go undefeated, you'll take our total over over the 2K mark. So
that's what we need.
So
we're on Waldron. We were on him last time. He threw 102 pitches in his last outing, which is like 20 pitches more than his previous start. So hopefully he's used up too much. That was versus Colorado, who's an awful offense. Now he has a tougher matchup versus Minnesota. He is at home. Thanks for sticking up for me on the Patreon. As I said, it was in Minnesota. It's not, but it doesn't matter which way because the winds are blowing out of Pecto. But expect 80 to 85 pitches. He's struggling. And like I said, tough matchup. 17 and a half outs is a big number here. So the minus 103, Caesars with the best price there, probably get to like minus 125.
I will tell you of what I've learned this summer so far, and I can't say it's a whole great deal. As far as my personal sniffs, my personal feelings, I really like that angle of a guy pitching more than he normally does, nailing him after that. Because I feel as if as soon as it starts to go wrong, that question gets in their head, like, well, it's because I pitched too long. And no, really, I think they start to question their arm a little bit, and that placebo effect is quite a thing.
It comes to like there's so many cooks in the kitchen in terms of managing these guys. Like you can't be the guy who it's like you're a bullpen coach or you're in charge of like the rotation and like not say anything, right? It's like a scientist who has to tell you that there's something wrong because if they didn't, then they wouldn't be doing their job correctly. So old Billy, the bullpen coach, has got to be like, oh, okay, Skip, Waldron was 20 plus. Like we got to keep an eye on it just to seem relevant in the position, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This is one that I'm definitely on board with, especially considering it seemed like when I checked, it was minus 103 at Caesars, and I saw minus 120s on the other site. So that's, I mean, I don't know if it's still there by the time people check it, but this minus 103 is a price that I'm relatively excited to get. From Mr. Waldron, we are going to head over to the reason I bring this screenshot up. I don't know if you could zoom in. You gave this as a BetMGM play, but I wanted to show everybody it's something that they should check out. Now scroll down. Josh gave the over 5.5 strikeouts for Andrew Heaney down there, and he gave the plus 120 on BetMGM. I checked and I see, okay, he's plus 110. I've told you people to cross-reference the milestones with the actual line. Make sure that the over 49.5 receiving yards for Deontay Johnson is the same exact price as the 50-plus receiving yards. We caught him. There's a free plus 10 for you for that DraftKings only better. I know there's one of you out there. I know there's one of you. Oh, I made an account on DraftKings. I don't want to set up any new ones. It's DraftKings or nothing. Well, there's your plus 120 on DraftKings for Andrew Heaney.
Those milestones are funny in football too, right? Because I know on 365, if you hit that 50-yard mark, you get the green check mark quickly. Or you go like 55, you get the green check mark quickly. But if you have the over-under, you won't get it until later because you can lose yards. I'm sure they'd get their money back, but you can cash out quickly on the green check mark.
I sent you a few screenshots earlier this year. We're at a dilemma again. Do I want to tell people something that's really going to help them? And I'm going to just... No, not doing it. I'm not doing it because I'm giving... Yeah, I'm gonna remind them this is because I'm giving you good shit today. That's why. Yeah, what do you think? You're just getting everything? You're probably already watching this on 2X, not giving me my full due. Anyway, what's the third pick that we got from you?
We'll just go Heaney over. Love it. I don't care. It's actually the dip, but he's 5-1 to the under. But good matchup. He's had a pretty tough run. And then this is a massive one. Logan Webb plus 105. We got the plus 105. They are minus 240 money line favorites. So let's walk through this. 27 outs in the game. They are minus 240 favorites versus the White Sox. Logan Webb is projected to go 21 innings. The number
21 outs?
Oh, sorry, 21 outs. Hey, good catch. 21 outs. So he basically has the longest out market on the entire slate. He's projected to go the longest of any pitcher today, yet his pitcher to record the win price is 200 points different, basically, or 100. I don't know how to do that math for minus 240. Yeah, I guess 240 points.
I gotta say, there's one thing that this could be called, and that's a solid scam. I mean, the plus money pitcher on a minus 240. There's no other way around it. That's a scam. It's a solid one, but it is a scam.
But yeah, like usually you get this price on those things for guys who might be able to get to the 5-inning mark, which is that's where you can record the win. But the situation is Garrett Crochet on the other side, elite pitcher, elite strikeout. Someone said in the Patreon today that he's pretty good. He had 9 strikeouts in his last game. Well, guess what? He only had 4 innings. He only had 12 outs. He struck out 9 of 12. That percentage isn't going to carry over, and they're pretty much shutting him down. So he's only going to go like 55 to 60 pitches. So Logan Webb will have 4 innings basically versus one of the worst bullpens in all of baseball. So there's lots of room to go, even if he's in a duel with Garrett Crochet. There's a lot to like about it, and this was the one that I put extra units on today.
Sure. All right. Extra units going on it for me too. Well, I'm gonna have to probably take a worse price, but at least I got the early one in. Well, without further ado, why don't we roll over to the barnyard and see what the donkeys are up to? Alex, show me. Who knows who this guy is? Trey Cabbage? That's like you're making a prank phone call. You had the first name ready. Like, hi, may I ask who's calling? Oh, it's Trey. Trey. Can I have a last name, please? Oh, and you looked around and you saw some Cabbage. Yeah. Trey Cabbage?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something about Trey Cabbage. He's lived a long, grueling life. He was spent 8 years in the no. Trey Cabbage is on one of these streaks, the same type of ones I've been telling you guys about, and the same type of ones that I've been rolling out here. Because if there's not an absurd streak, you're not really going to see it from the donkey section. This guy has had, by the way, this bet is for single, under half of a single. He has failed to get a single in 12 straight games at home. And it's 17 out of 18 overall. So 18 games, you've taken this bet. You've won 17 of them. I mean, that falls in the donkey status. Like, yeah, we're taking that carrot and we're riding that donkey to the under half of a single for old Trey Cabbage. Do you know anything about that? Have you heard of this guy?
It reminds me of Peter Griffin someone's like, "What's your name?" And he goes, "Peter," and then they ask for a last name, and then he sees a griffin crying when he's trying to think of his last name. Griffin. Yeah, no. Basically, just saying things he sees, like Trey Cabbage, exactly. I don't know much about Trey Cabbage. I know that I think they have the early game, which is when we talk about betting. They play the 2-10 game. When we talk about betting, if you say, hey, this is an early game, I'm basically on it because I just want early action. There's nothing worse than like having your stuff locked in all day and you're like, 7:10 p.m. is miles away.
Well, there you go, ladies and gents. You wanted that early one? Old Donkey Picks brought it to you. So there's one, and I got a second one for you, which is Tyler Freeman, no related to Josh, no relation to Royce, no relation to Morgan. And I think I'm just about out of Freemans. I'm a free man. That's from License to Drive. And now you're starting to get all the references. Tyler Freeman, under 1.5. The funny thing is, I can't even tell you if he's on the Yankees or Guardians. This game is do you know what team he's on, Josh?
Yeah, he's on Cleveland. I'm trying to see because he's facing Nestor Cortez, who's a lefty. So he's a righty, so he'll face it. But
that's not good. Quick question. Quick question. You talked about the Yankee tax, the same way there's a Maple Leafs tax.
Yeah.
By virtue of inverse, does that mean we always get good prices on the players on the other team? If this was a random game against the Rangers, would this be minus 165 or something?
I would assume it's all relative, right? So it all starts with the pricing starts at the money line price and team totals, and then trickles down from team totals to see how many runs that team will score, which then turns into how many hits, runs, RBIs there will be for each player. So, I mean, if the total's like 6.5, these numbers will be smaller. Or sorry, if the total's 6.5, these numbers will be bigger for the over. But this is a spot where Cortez isn't in a bad spot. And minus 150, I know people are going to roll both your donkey picks over together, right? You know that?
Well, if they do that, I think I have I might have a better option. It's going to take me a second to get to, but this one has hit in 10 in a row, and I think 14 of the last 15 or 15 of the last 16, right in the absurd range. It might be 17 of it. In the absurd range, it's lost 1 out of its last like 16, and I haven't even mentioned this is the hits, runs, and RBIs under 1.5 for Tyler Freeman.
He has 1 hit in his last 7 games.
I'm me, Greg. 4
hits in his last 15
No, I'm not done. You know what? Forget it.
Regardless whether you win that one, lose that one, we're taking all that money and we're throwing it on the line because I'm going to give to the people here. And now some people are going to scoff at this and say, oh, that's nothing. If that's what you think, then you can add yourself to the barnyard with the donkeys that we're going to be playing, because what I'm about to give you, this is like coveted info. You're not going to see it on any videos. Other people either A, hoard it for themselves, or B, don't even know that it's there. I mentioned yesterday, hockey is the Achilles heel of the major 4 sports. So we're going to put all this money on the line to guarantee ourselves some earnings. Okay, we're going to start you off with a little guy that I hope does awfully because he plays on the team that I don't root for. And this is Alexis Lafreniere. What I'm about to show you here are varying goal totals on separate sports books. On BetMGM, he's listed at 29.5 goals, minus 105 on the under. On FanDuel that you see down below, plus 165 for 30 plus goals. I did the math for you already. You see those 2 bets? 575 on BetMGM. I always used the clean 1,000. That's just what I'm going to do. But what about, where'd you get the 1,000 from? The Connor McDavid bet that I told you all to take. So these are the 2 amounts, 575 and 425. You can see the amounts won there. And go to the next picture, Alex. You're getting 12.4% on your money. But what if the only way you're not getting paid out on this bet is if the world explodes and the sports books all go under and they pull some party poker 2005 thing where they just run off with your money. And even I heard those people got paid back eventually. So guaranteed money, 12.4%, $124 in 8 months. But then you, Andy, I'm going to wait 8 months for $124. If you went to your bank, they're giving you max, absolute max, 5%. And you got to put in a whole hell of a lot more than at that. You want those Discover rates? You want the 1-year CD at Discover? Look at Josh is laughing. He goes, oh man, don't show me the Discover. No, 4.6 is what you're getting. With Andy, we're giving you minimum 10% on your guaranteed earnings. You want to know what the risk is? It doesn't exist. But no. I need the parlays. Fine. You parlay, and I'll just get paid at the end of it. 8 months. You don't even have to wait a year. Oh, is that not enough? 12%'s not enough for you? Fine. How about 15%? Is that enough? Let's call in Mark Scheifele. Hey, Scheifele, how you doing? Can you give us 15%? Why don't we do that? We're going to go to BetMGM. And we're going to take the under 29.5 goals. We're going to take it for 607, get that 1156 right there. Then we're going to do the 397 on FanDuel. We're going to pump 750 something right there. Go back to the previous screenshot that shows us what we're going to do. We're going to make $151. So now we've just made close to $300 doing what? Absolutely nothing. Existing. Breathing is all you need, along with some money. But Andy, you need a lot of money to do this. If you're scraping change, then I think you even need that $20 that investing a whole hell of a lot less would bring you at the end of the season. 15.12%, triple your bank's rates is what you get from Andy. That's still not enough, Andy. I watched you win the McDavid bet. Not only do I want the 15%, I want a chance to hit both. Well, then let's call Josh's friends up there in Toronto. Let's go to a little William Nylander, 40 goals, 40 and a half, under. Throw 590 on that. 1126 total payout. You go over to Finland. You're getting 12.68% and the chance for 40 goals to hit both. Well, come on. What are the odds he's going to land on that? Well, I'll tell you this. If he has 38, you think they aren't cognizant of those even numbers? You think he's not going to be out there with that empty net in those last couple games trying to get to 40? I think not. I think they will do that, as you saw last year. When Matthews, they did anything and everything they could to get him to that goal total in that last game, despite the fact that they had clinched and they knew who they were playing and whatnot. So 3 guaranteed money picks. But no, instead people are going to go in DM an Instagram model and think they got a better chance than 15% on your money. That's you. At your best, you're getting those discover rates. Got 2,500? You have 2,500 to put in that? You only need 1,000 on the Andy plan, and you're coming away with hundreds. You do 1,000 on the first, 1,000 on the second, 1,000 on the third. You're already a winner on the NHL season, and you can hope for the 40 goals for Matthews, for Nylander. And also, it's essentially an even money exchange for Mitch Marner. 31.5 on BetMGM, 30 plus on FanDuel. It's roughly, they'll give you $10 or $20 or $30 at the end of the season, but if he ends with 30 or 31, you hit both. Are there more? Yes, there are. Am I sharing them with you here? You're lucky you got this. You should be thrilled. Josh gave you this, so you should thank him because, as a man who's yet to decide to get married, I don't have some wife over my, Andy, why don't you give him the bet? You're lucky Josh gave me to give you these things. And I know none of you are going to bet it, which is good. It means I can invest more in it down the line so you don't switch them. Because one final thing I'll let you know. Want to know what I did? You think I'm giving you these without getting my own first? Jonathan Marchessault, I'm going to show you screenshots. 36.5 goals on BetMGM. That's what it was. Andy and company bet it down. It's currently 30.5. 6. I mean, that is preposterous. Steven Stamkos. I can literally, I can guarantee you it was me because they said reviewing bet.
No.
And it went through. And then when I went back to the bet, it was down 4 goals. I got Stamkos 38.5 on the under. His 40 goal benchmark on Draftkings is plus 400. So these are the things that you're getting over there, along with, a variety of other stuff, including Josh's baseball picks, which you're going to get Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I hate baseball. The show's over, but Josh's sniffs aren't. Either are my donkey picks. I don't mind putting those in there. So come join. It's patreon.com/Andy Francess. You got some rants. You got some hockey on this last day. I hope you enjoyed the show somewhat. For those people who said they need, this is a crazy concept. They need to hear me on their way to work just to feel a little bit normal. I know that's some of you. I don't know how listening to me makes you feel normal, but I was kind of happy to do it for you. Happy that Josh kind of encouraged me to do it. Josh, I assume you're going to make quite a few NHL apperances.
Yeah.
Maybe I can drag you for some NFL.
I got a scam I put in yesterday too. Bet365, NFL awards. You can parlay offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, offensive rookie, defensive rookie, comeback player, and coach of the year. So, one of the good ones, I didn't originate it. Marvin Harrison Jr. to win offensive rookie of the year and Kyler Murray to win comeback player of the year, 150-1. You can get Raheem Morris and Kirk Cousins in those two for coach of the year, comeback player of the year for like 100-1. And if you're really crazy and think Michael Penix Jr. somehow gets a starting job over a 36-year-old Kirk Cousins who is dealing with an Achilles injury and hasn't played a snap for a new team, which I really like, rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year, Raheem Morris, coach of the year. Put those together. I think $20 pays $10K.
Wow. Quick question is something I saw. Somebody that I trust said that he checks like the market graphs, and he said after the injury to the Vikings rookie quarterback and Darnold, JJ McCarthy, that there was an influx of bets on Sam Darnold to win comeback player of the year when he doesn't qualify. Like it's actually money that's thrown away. So there are qualifications for comeback player of the year. I'm just curious as to if what's his name? Who's the first? Does Kyler Murray qualify since he came back and played last year?
Yeah, Kyler Murray's like seventh, betting favorite number 7. Aaron Rodgers is at the top, and then Joe Burrow and Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins number 3.
Okay, so yeah, so I guess if you get injured at some point throughout the season, I guess Darnold was never injured. That's why he doesn't qualify.
He's there. Right, he's ahead of Kyler Murray at 14 to 1. I don't know how he was ever behind. I guess just playing terribly allows you to be a comeback player. I don't know.
I think within the rules of qualifying, he's like disqualified. Like I think he's not even allowed to win. From what I mean, somebody I trust immensely tweeted that, so that's why it's like I'm gonna trust it, even if the rules don't say that. I'm trusting this guy. So
I think there's a ton of value in offensive rookie of the year. Caleb Williams, we saw what he does, and he gets out of the pocket. The guy's gonna get hurt. I'd be very, very fucking surprised if he made it through a full season. And then Jaden Daniels, same thing. He's like a tall drink of water who's thin, and he's going to get hurt behind a terrible O-line. There's a ton of value in the other guys, not at the top 2 in the offensive rookie of the year. So lots of value in the future markets, I think, so far in the NFL.
Well, we got some time to talk about that. I'll have a NFL video next week. I'll see what Josh is doing, see if he wants to jump in with me. But thank you guys for enjoying some summer baseball. I didn't enjoy the baseball at all, but I definitely enjoyed some of these episodes. I did learn a couple treat things. I learned a few players. That pitcher on Toronto. Oh, God, I forgot him already.
You're going to say his first name last and his last name first and his first name last.
The first name in my head was Roy Halladay. How bad is this? It was
Francess.
I have no clue who it is.
Who's the guy? Francis Bowden.
No. Who's the really good pitcher on
Kevin Goffman.
That's the guy I know. The one who Josh just had to tell me right now.
There you go.
I don't know anybody. What do you want? I do know Lennon Sosa now. I know the worst player in Major League Baseball. All right, everyone. Take it easy. Toss this video a couple clicks. Throw those thousands that you won on those futures for some guaranteed money. It's coming your way in April. That's when you want money, right before the summer, so you can go. You can have it for things. You can pay off your taxes with it. You can, plan your vacations with it. A penny on the line in guaranteed futures is a penny that you're going to earn right before the summer. But I know you're not going to do it. But you'll never be judged on this channel for being a pirate because, I've sailed those waters. Who knows? I may still continue to sail them every once in a while. I will see you guys next week for some NFL videos. Make sure you check the last comedy pod. I never really mentioned that on here, so go check that out. And I will see you next week, hopefully on the Patreon as well. Take it easy.